Watering the ficus and the sands and the Hoya. I leave the tank with the hose in the sink. I use on pretty much the whole tank. There's only a little bit left in it. So I just leave it open and let it drain in the sink. That's up to you if you want to do that. Then when you finish with this, turn off the light, close the door. The light's on a timer, so if you forget to turn it off, it'll go off by itself. Then we go back to the atrium. I took my sprayer and my little attachment with me. I keep that just in case. Back by security into the atrium. So for the atrium, you don't have to spend a lot of time on this. It's a hot mess. Have this weed growing that I was kind of excited about. I wasn't sure what it was. It's some seed that blew in from outside, and I just let it keep growing, and I thought maybe it'll be pretty. And you know, it's definitely a weed, but it doesn't look bad. The mealy are pretty tame today, it looks like. Maybe. So the hose is here. Here's the spigot, and it's a springy hose. It leaks, so I prop it up in the plant so that the leaking water can be beneficial. I've got it tangled up in one of the leaves. So last week I pulled all the dead leaves off of these guys, so they look pretty good today. About every 3 weeks their leaves start to look like this, and I will pull them off, but I'll try to do it in stages so that I don't, you know, leave it with no leaves at all. As far as like any obvious leaves that look really bad, you can pull them if you want to, but you don't feel like you have to pull them. These look not great, but here's the reason why. Because they are eat up with mealybugs on the bottom side. So if you do pull any of these, put them in a bag, and there's a trash can right outside that door, and I just put it in there because there's nobody here and I don't want them in my car. There's a dead leaf on that one, Justina. These guys are trying to grow back. So all of these spider plants that are here are all babies that came from the flowers, and they've rooted themselves, which is kind of nice. It makes it really thick. So this section with this big long vine of the monstera needs a lot of water because you see it gets direct sun for a big portion of the day. All of the spider plants need a lot of water. The Carmens in the back or whatever, these guys are actually looking really good right now. They had looked bad for a long time, and I got a lot of new growth on this monstera that looks good. I actually have one that's starting to fenestrate, so I'm pretty excited, but still finding these guys every week that need to be pulled because they're dying. Aglaonema looks good. These guys try to grow out of the thing, so I try to redirect them and keep them inside the atrium edges. Look at my new leaf. It's so pretty. And look, no mealies. Yay. So that's good. It's trying to root already. I keep having to redirect it because it likes to want to grow outside of the thing. And it's amazing how much they grow in 1 week. They just like, it's crazy. So I'll come in and pull. This is my pile of dead leaves that I pulled last week, and I didn't have a trash bag with me. So I'll probably pull these and add to that. I'm trying to redirect some of these vines to grow into some of these dead areas. These spider plants that are here are actually ones that Nicole and I planted from some of the babies, and they actually took and started growing again. So that's kind of cool. And then this is the main monstera vine where it starts. It starts over here, and a lot of the leaves on this one have died, so it's just an empty vine, but it's still trying to grow. None of this should be here. As you can see, there are rocks underneath. This pathway is supposed to go all the way to the edge, and when someone had the account before me, they let it grow over the path. So that is whatever it is. And then I was cutting the ivy for a while, and so I last week decided to let the ivy go across the path, and I was going to wrap it around to try to edge this in ivy as well. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but it's something I'm trying. And then of course, if any of the ivy is coming out of its boundaries. I just tuck it back in. I try not to cut it just because we don't have any replacements here. We're not allowed to do replacements, so anything that's growing, I let it grow. I do try to keep the ivy from growing onto the peace lilies. If I see any of the ivy vines growing into that, I will pull them out so that they can't grow up into the peace lily. And then look, a little baby's growing in this one. It's very exciting. So I'll probably have to treat this one again soon, but yeah. If you see any obviously dead brown leaves, you're welcome to pull them out. And then for spraying, I just grab my nozzle, attach it to the end of the hose, turn the water on, and I do a lot of water on these peace lilies, a lot of water on the ivy, a lot of water all through here, a little bit in the back for those guys, a lot here, moderate for the ags, and then I do the whole thing again after it's had a chance to soak in. So I'm probably here in this atrium watering for 20 to 30 minutes, just straight on water. So because it does get a very hot sun, it's very hot in here now. When I start watering, it's gonna get super humid in here because this is the light that it gets. So good luck.